Hello, good evening all. Once again, we are meeting today. And today I'll be discussing about the miseries in our life. First of all, the causes of miseries, then the sources of miseries, and how to get our life free of miseries. Everything we'll discuss. First, we will see what are the causes of miseries, and as you can see, we want what we want and we don't get, it causes misery in our life. In many cases, today's life in this modern era, miseries are very, very prevalent. And one of the reasons of such miseries could be what we want, we don't get, and we feel miserable. What we expect a lot and we don't get, we feel miserable. We meet people whom we dislike, we feel miserable. Oh, this is not the person I like, so I am feeling miserable by talking to the person. And most interestingly, it's about uncertainty. We all know that uncertainty is the only certain thing in life. We cannot expect, if today everything is going fine, we cannot expect that will continue forever. But though we know that, we are not ready to accept that. We refuse to accept that there could be uncertainty tomorrow, things may go wrong tomorrow, and we don't accept any uncertainty. And that causes a lot of miseries in our life. Maybe we are posted to a new place, we need to shift. The geographical location is different, the climate is different, maybe the culture is different. We have to take up a lot of challenges to establish ourselves in a new place. That creates a lot of misery in our life, many a time. So all these are all the causes of miseries. There are many more causes of miseries. I have listed a very few of them. And I will definitely talk about the sources of all the miseries and how to get rid of all the miseries. That is very important. So, friends, I am Atandra Chaudhary. I am a life fulfillment coach. And fulfillment is all about, what is your idea of fulfillment? Let's see, fulfillment is supposed to be attained as the reward after striving to attain the objects of our desire, accomplishments, wealth, status, etc. That means fulfillment is at the destination. When we attain something, we get fulfilled. We feel fulfilled. We feel fulfilled when we attain something. Is it like that? No, it's not like that. Our society has taught us fulfillment to be like this, but actually fulfillment is not this. Then what is fulfillment in its true sense? It's being able to focus on what we have and be contented with, comfortable with whatever we have, whatever we face. If we feel comfortable in facing all the challenges, then we feel fulfilled all the time. That's how we can feel fulfilled. Fulfillment cannot be at the destination. Fulfillment is a state of mind. We feel fulfilled and we work and we do better. We achieve more. Being fulfilled, whatever we do, we achieve more than craving for many things. So fulfillment can be attained. How? By shifting our focus from what we want to what we have. It's very simple, but it's very difficult, because when our focus is on what we want, we are just carried away with all our desires. We want big car, big house, lots of facilities, lot of luxuries. So we are totally focused on our wants. We need this. We crave for everything. And if somebody tells us, No, this is not where you will get fulfillment. Fulfillment you will get if you shift your focus from what we have to from what you want to what you have. Isn't it very, very difficult? Shifting our focus is the biggest challenge in our life. But if we succeed in doing that, definitely fulfillment is very simple to achieve. We have a healthy health. We have all the organs that is acting smooth and normal. We have all the relations. We have enough money to feed on. We have friends and families to socialize with. We have many things, but we hardly focus on what we have. We are just running after what we want. Thus, we are distancing ourselves from feeling fulfilled. That's how life is, but we can, of course, always chase to shift our focus from what we want to what we have. So, next is sources of our miseries. What do you say? What are the sources of our miseries? Yes, if I have heard it correct, our misery sources. Source is there. That person is responsible for my misery. Because of that person, there is so much of miseries in my life. Oh, that lady, she has done so much bad in my life. My life is miserable. This person, that person, we always keep on externalizing. And being the month of April, as I have taken up a series of topics where we will address how we'll make full of ourselves. No, not how to make others full. I am focusing on topics, how we make full of ourselves. This is how we make full of ourselves. We always externalize the sources of our miseries to the other person, to this person, to that person. If not, then God. God is responsible for it. Oh God, why do you give so much of miseries in my life? See, others are so happy, but my life, you have made it miserable. So God, is this true? No. Actually, the sources of all our miseries lies within ourselves. We are responsible for all the miseries in our life because of not being able to do so many things. What we are not being able to do, our inability to focus on what we have today, what we have in the present is very important. Because if we always keep focusing on what we had in yesterday, that is again another source of misery. We should not focus on our past and think today, oh, I had such a lovely house to live in. Now see, my flat is so small. That again, another cause of misery. And thinking about the future, our fear, our anxiety, tomorrow, what will happen, uncertainty, all these things are sources of our miseries. Along with this, I can again point out the craving for our materialistic accomplishments are the reason, are the sources of our miseries many a time. So fine, we have all the sources, but somehow we have to get rid of all the miseries. That's our objective, isn't it? So how to get rid? Before that, I will show you some of the miseries in our lives. These are the miseries where we have no control, like shortage of food, poverty, shortage of water, crisis of water, pandemic threats, as we are facing today, avalanche, and all these natural calamities. These are the tornado, fire, landslide, avalanche, flood, drought, volcanic eruption. We don't have control. And then last but not the least, war. We don't have any control on these. But again, these are the uncertainties we know that may come to our life at any point of time. So whatever we do, we can think of those uncertainties and prepare ourselves, get ourselves ready to face them. If we are ready, we should do our best, but always prepare for the worst. The worst thing may happen. If it happens, then we are ready to face it. We will definitely overcome the challenges and we'll get back to, we should be resilient enough to get back to our original shape after this calamities. So these are how we can make ourselves, how we can lessen the misery, the impact of miseries in our lives. The miseries created by these type of natural calamities, war, if we get ourselves ready, we can lessen the impact. That's how we can do. But there are some other types of miseries in our life, like physical suffering, then sufferings imposed by others, ill behavior, very nasty behavior towards us, feeling like a victim, bursting of bosses, very common in workplaces, pointing out, singling out, we as if we are not worth of anything. People are singling out at us. At times, poverty, and at times melancholy. Many times in old age, people have no friend, no relative to look after, and they feel so miserable. But what can we do to get rid of the miseries? How can we get ourselves free of our miseries? See, as we can see, a person is just abusing his wife. So what the wife can do? Should feel a victim and feel miserable? Or the wife can also think the man must be disturbed for some reason or other. He is not well. If he is shouting so much, that obviously means he is not at peace. His mind is not in harmony with his body. Something went wrong. So to accept that the person is not in his best of his mood, so not to enter into an argument at that point of time and not to try to convince the person at that point of time, just accept that the person is not at peace. The person doesn't have a good mood to gift the wife, because anyone cannot gift someone anything which he doesn't have at that point of time. At that point of time, the person is not having any good spirit, so he cannot deliver anything good. So let that confrontation be avoided at that time. Take some time and get back to the person after a little while. By the time the person may have get back his original state of mind, then it won't be a confrontation, it will be a discussion at that time. And maybe the wife would be able to convince him. That's how we can just avoid many conflicts. So to need to learn to shift our mental response from resistance to acceptance. So if at that point of time we start to resist the ill behavior of the person, then definitely we are not going to win, because facing resistance at that moment is very, very tough. Suppose being an old person, I have less of money, I am facing some financial issue, that let me accept that I have less of money, I can manage. Any money is good enough to manage a life. Only thing we have to curtail on our expenses. How much luxury we can afford, we will afford that much luxury. Accept the fact that, well, I have less of money, but I have plenty of friends. Maybe I'm rich in my feelings. I can contribute. If I cannot give money to others, if I cannot help others financially, I can contribute with my services for the society. So accepting the fact that I don't have this, but I have many things which I can make use of. That's how we can make our life all the more interesting. We have many things. We can. This will actually make us. The life becomes interesting because in the process we learn many things. Suppose I want to do some social work because I don't have much of money to donate, but I can go and teach the children, the downtrodden people. Then in the process, I learn many things. While I teach someone, I learn many things. So this is always a win-win situation. If I try, I accept my situation and I try to overcome any of the conflict, any of the problem, any of the challenges, that becomes an overwhelming situation for me because I am in a win-win position. Most of us know all this thing theoretically. Only thing is we don't practice. So let's start practicing these things. Acceptance. We let us accept a person as he or she is. We don't want the person to behave as we are or as we want them to behave. So we can that way actually get rid of all our miseries, and we will find any place, any new place. Oh, this is a new place. I have to take the challenge of climate change. Fine. I learned to cope up with the new climate. I learned to cope up with the new environment. So new culture. Oh, this is a very interesting culture. Oh, that culture I don't like. Instead of feeling like that, if I accept, oh, this is a new culture, I'm going to learn many new things from this culture. How is it? Isn't it beautiful? Life won't be beautiful? Definitely life will be beautiful. Start practicing from today. Next week, again, we are going to meet. Thank you very much for attending this. Bye.